Hi, fifth graders. I'm here to do a little review about what you're going to be working on this week in your packet for English. You're going to start out with page 92, which is deciding whether sentences are a simple sentence, a compound sentence, or a complex sentence. And this is a review from the worksheet, the workbook page from last Friday. Remember that a simple sentence, it has a subject and a predicate, and it gives a complete thought. A compound sentence has two or more simple sentences, independent clauses, and they are joined by a comma and a conjunction, which we also know as joining words, like and, or but. And then a complex sentence contains an independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. A comma follows a dependent clause at the beginning of a complex sentence. You worked on all that on Friday. So on this worksheet, you will be deciding if it is a simple sentence, you will put the letter A in the blank. If it is a compound sentence, you will put the letter B in the blank. And if it is a complex sentence, you will put the letter C in the blank. All right? So you're going to do that for 1 through 10. And then 11, it says to combine the simple sentences to make a compound sentence. Okay? So you've got two simple sentences. Traveling by wagon seems fun. It took a very long time. You're going to make that into a compound sentence. So you're going to add a conjunction or a joining word and a comma, and then the conjunction to combine those to make a compound sentence. In number 12, you've got simple sentences. You travel by wagon. You need to take plenty of food and water. You want to make that a complex sentence. So you're going to add like the word when. When you travel by wagon, comma, you need to take plenty of food and water. Or since you travel by wagon, or if you travel by wagon. Any of those words, if you use those, use that to make it a complex sentence, because then it would have a dependent clause and a independent clause. And then in 13, you're going to separate the complex sentence. It's a big, long sentence with a comma. It has a conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, the word since there, and you're going to turn that into two simple sentences. That means you're going to have to delete that conjunction in that sentence to do that. And then number 14, you're going to write your own compound or complex sentence using the subordinating conjunction provided for you, and it is the word while. While, we were, whatever. You're going to make your own sentence, okay? So that's that one. And then the next page in your packet is the workbook page 283 and 284. And that is commas and comma splices. And this is just the rules for using commas in direct address. This is on page 283 in the yellow box. You can see it in direct address. Dad, may I go to the park? Dad, comma, may I go to the park? To separate an appositive from the word that it renames, like the naturalist, Mr. Stanley, works at the museum. My teacher, Mrs. Stockdale, is working from home, except today. After you use it after a long introductory prepositional phrase that have 5 or more words. You use it after a dependent clause at the beginning of a sentence, and you use it before a coordinating conjunction like and, but, or in a compound sentence. And all of that is at the top of your page. And then we talk about comma splices. A comma splice consists of two complete sentences that are incorrectly joined by only a comma. So for example, people in South Dakota wanted a monument, comma, they carved 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. That is a comma splice. There are several ways you could correct that comma splice. You could make the sentence into 2 sentences. People in South Dakota wanted a monument, period. They carved 4 presidents in Mount Rushmore. Or you could make the sentence a compound sentence by putting a comma after the first phrase and then a conjunction like the word and they carve for presidents. Or you can make it a complex sentence by putting the word because at the beginning, because people in South Dakota wanted a monument, comma, they carve for presidents. So there are different ways to actually correct that comma splice. So in your workbook pages, make sure that you watch the Teacher Tools online video for Lesson 148, Chapter 15, Part B, and she will explain this to you and go through page 283 with you. You're going to either write C for comma or C if the sentence is correct, if the comma is correct or the sentence is correct, and CS if there's a comma splice. That is if the comma is used the wrong way. And then on 284, you're going to do the same thing at the top of the page, and then 6 through 12, you're actually going to insert commas where they go in those sentences by using our little insert mark and then the little comma inside of it. Our little TP, little arrowhead with the comma inside of it. Putting the commas where they go. Remember that they go before the conjunction, before the joining word. And Apply and Write says, which U.S. president do you most admire? Explain why you admire him. Use commas in the appropriate places. So write me 2 or 3 sentences there for that. And then you've got a worksheet, number 93, that's basically the same thing. You're going to do the same thing here. You're going to put the comma, insert the commas where they go in 1 through 9, and then in 10 and 11, you're going to circle the comma splice in each sentence and then write the sentence correctly. Fix those comma splices the way we did on the worksheet on page 283. And then for Thursday, you have workbook pages 285 and 286. That is the chapter review for Chapter 15, covering prepositional phrases, remembering that prepositional phrases have parentheses around them. They begin with a preposition and end with the object of the preposition. You're going to decide if a word is a preposition or an adverb. If it is a preposition, it's going to have words after it because it's going to be at the beginning of a prepositional phrase. If the word is at the very end of the sentence, then it's going to be an adverb because it's not in a prepositional phrase. Because some words can serve as both. In section C on the back, you're going to circle the conjunction in each sentence. You're going to write I if the underlying clause is independent. You're going to write D if it's dependent. And you're going to use the little insert mark to put missing commas because some independent clauses or dependent clauses will need commas either between the two clauses or before the conjunction. And then in letter D, you will fill in the circle to identify the correct sentence type. Is it simple? Is it compound? Or is it complex? Go back and watch the video from last Friday for lesson 145, I believe it was, or 146. Yeah, it was lesson 146. Go back and watch the lesson for 146, 147, or for any of the ones for this chapter to help you do the chapter review, because then on Friday you've got the chapter review quiz in your packet. That is page 94 and 95. This counts as a quiz grade. It's just like the chapter review. Parentheses around prepositional phrases, deciding if a word is used as an adverb or a preposition in a sentence, deciding if a sentence is independent or dependent, and adding commas where necessary, and telling if a sentence is simple, compound, or complex, and then putting commas, missing commas in sentences. And that will finish up this chapter. On Monday in your packet that you pick up when you drop this one off, you will have the Chapter 15 test, which you'll be doing, and then turning in, and then on Tuesday, we'll be starting some grammar review. It will be straight from the curriculum, but it will be stuff we've already done this year on nouns and verbs and things like that to get you ready for middle school English. So remember, if you have questions while you're working, please text me, email me, call me. I'll walk you through it. I'll talk you through it. I'll help you to understand if you don't understand something. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't just leave it blank and then send it in, because then that's giving you a bad grade, and you don't want those. These are go on the report card. In fact, Monday in your packet, you will see a progress report for how you're doing. You're only going to have 4 more weeks at that point to bring that grade up. So you're going to want to call me if you don't understand something. Don't just leave it hanging out there and not understand it, because I'm here to help you. If you don't have any other questions, I guess that's it for this time. Just make sure that you are finishing all the work and that you are sending it in your packet. And I can't think of anything else. So if that's it, I will probably see you guys next week when I do my video for you guys at that time. Have a good week.